Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Justin the Food Entrepreneur Show. I'm Justin Bizzarro. I'm your host. That's Bizzarro. For anyone who's out there who wants to find us, you can find us on Instagram at Justin the Food Entrepreneurs. You can also find me personally at Justin Bizzarro. Again, that's double Z's, double R's. So 2 Z's, 2 R's, and Bizzarro with a B. If you guys are looking, that'll bring up everything you guys are trying to find. Gorilla Brave, the podcasts, LinkedIn, all that stuff on me. So pretty simple, but it is 2 Z's, 2 R's, so you get a lot of other things, and Justin's a pretty common name. So that should help everyone. I get those questions a lot. Gorilla Brave. If you go to gorillabrave.love/events, that's where all the events are, guys, and we're adding more. I think we're going to add Cleveland as a city in the fall, as well as potentially Pittsburgh. So we have some interest there, doing some events there. So stay tuned for that. By the time this show comes out, we'll have been 3 events in for that, all being Denver, Kansas City, and Boston, based on the schedule right now. So, these are worth looking at, guys. These are connecting the entrepreneurs together. You guys have asked for fellowship, asked for growth in your businesses, asked for help and resources. Well, I've done it. It took me 3 years, honestly, from when all of this started to build something, because that's what we do as entrepreneurs. We take our time. We could have 1,500 failures and we're still searching for the one success, because failure doesn't mean the same thing to us as it does to everyone else. So their information is out there. There's transcript, guys, in every episode on Apple Podcasts and on Podbean. So you can go back and look at the notes. That makes them searchable. That makes them shareable. That makes it so you guys, as entrepreneurs that are out there that come on the show that ask me, can share that or post it or grab any of the information off there and tweak it to your liking. So it's all out there. I've tried to do what everyone's asking. Almost all of the content on Gorilla Brave right now is free. Anything related to co-packing, anything related to food trucks, anything related to commissaries, anything related to franchising. I've taken all my 28 years of knowledge plus the years before that on a farm under 18 years old and fruit stands, and I packed it all into Gorilla Brave. So instead of trying to charge for it or do whatever, I took everything, the most general, common, awesome information I had in my head, consolidated it for the entrepreneur so anyone can grab it around the world. Okay, why am I saying that? Now it's translatable if it's online, but why am I saying that to everyone? Because we need to flatten this. It's knowledge. We live in a world where knowledge can be, the poorest person should have the same access as the richest person. Knowledge should be easily accessible by all, period, around the world, especially in food when we're all in it together. We're all in it because we feed people and love doing that and love food, whether we realize it or not. And lastly, why is it important? Because there's more of us on this planet than any other humans. And we have more impact and influence and have contact with more humans than any other humans in this world. And we will continue to have that forever. So who's the most important catalyst in a good, positive future? If we really narrow it down, we're looking at us right in the mirror. It's the person in the mirror, guys. Food, beverage entrepreneurs, you're in the mirror. You have effect on the planet, the animals, the plants, the ecosystems, the communities, the employees, creating jobs, building dreams. It's not something to be taken lightly. You creating good food is just the beginning. It's just the ticket to entry. So I'm going to leave that. That's my thought here based on the feedback and stuff I've gotten over the last week. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys listening in big time. So I have our guest with us, Tanya Lewis, out of Fort Worth, Texas, ChixnWangz. I love the name. I love the social media. I really tracked, I was hunting her down for sure, hunting down this business because it caught my attention that strongly. And we talked a little bit about obsessive and willing to keep getting no's or failures. That isn't this case, but I am willing to get a lot of no's to get a yes. So that is part of part of what goes on here on the podcast as well. There are a lot of people I reach out to, a lot of people I pursue that don't feel comfortable publicly speaking. And that's okay with me. I don't have any problem. It's your choice. But if I were coaching you or consulting with you, I would say that you need to be the story of your brand and you need to scream it from the mountaintops every chance you get. So that is my answer overall to that as well, because someone asked me about how many people do I reach out to how many people actually end up on the podcast. Guys, it's probably like at the beginning, it was probably 10,000 to 1. I don't even know how to even describe the amount of rejection or failure I felt, even as a successful entrepreneur. And then lastly, now it ranges between 1 out of every 50 to 1 out of every 100. I'm much more intentional. I do a lot more homework on the front side. I sit for a while. I don't jump. I sit for longer in understanding the entrepreneur's energy, what kind of questions I might ask. I sit a lot more in whether or not they're growing their communities or just trying to grow their Instagram accounts. Okay, I take that into account. So anyone listening in, why is that important? Because it grows your businesses. The McDonald's doesn't have the McDonald's Ronald McDonald House by accident. Okay, we have purpose in our businesses to do good things. So, Tanya, your story, let's start all the way with little Tanya, all the way to entrepreneur Tanya, chef, wing. I'm going to very boldly say this. I know I've got to be very careful with Texas because I know how they are about barbecue and wings. But we got the queen of the South here of the wings. I'm serious. And so let's talk about this. Let's talk about this journey to this creation.
Sure. So little Tanya, she's from Corsicana, Texas, so southern south of Dallas, Fort Worth, 45 minutes of Dallas. Raised there till I was about 12, moved to Austin, Texas, where I met a little bit of diversity, and then reverted back to Fort Worth, where I've been ever since. We are Southern in our roots and cooking. So generationally wise, from my grandmother's side, it was taught to cook. And then from my mother's side, who is actually from the Midwest, she's from Minnesota, who migrated to Texas and have been here ever since, has an authenticity for frying chicken and a love for it. So it's basically growing up from two sides, perfecting an item that, you didn't never think that would have the popularity. It didn't have that in my upbringing. It was just a staple in our meal, right? It was just something that we had often because we enjoyed it. But so moving forward, just my entrepreneurship I've been in corporate America for many, many years, have kind of traveled the different parts of the United States culturally. And I'm foodie, I'm a plain foodie. So in order to produce a good quality product, I think you have to take that into account. So the desire to serve leads me to wanting to serve in large masses, right? So volunteering at different organizations to serve communities was very intentional and very rewarding for me because it gave me the insight as to providing customer service on any level. And so just bringing those components together, how did I get into food? That's it. Just having those combinations of loving chicken wings being a staple in our meals, preparing it, having really good feedback from friends and families that always enjoyed it. So took those three things and started this chicken wing journey back in 2007. I woke up one morning thinking, wow, I really need to do something more so than what I've known for years, which is healthcare. And so I ventured out to what I secondly love, which is cooking and serving. So had some personal challenges in 2008. Had to take and leave the journey of food and go back into the journey of healthcare. However, never lost the passion. So given the opportunity to do it again, I didn't look into a brick and mortar at this time, although that's intentional. Doing a mobile food truck just seems like something that I could grow at a pace and a rate and and eventually multiply it and eventually brick and mortar it. So from little Tanya of having just corporate dreams to entrepreneurship after having those corporate environments to being a food truck owner with a previous history of being a chicken wing owner business. So there you have it.
Your journey is incredible. This is, and the feedback I get actually, I've had some people in Fort Worth try the food and in Texas in my notes here, and I'm just blown away by this. Let's talk a little bit about chicken wings in general. I'm going to anchor this for the audience real quick. In general, as we industrialized, this food became industrialized. We're talking like slaughtering plants, things like that, guys. The chicken wings became a very devalued thing. Probably throughout history, it wasn't very valued. It was used for soups and stocks, often sold off to the poor or given to slaves since I want to just address it. And the wings gain in popularity. Yes, it is true. They did start at a Buffalo. Buffalo did start what I would call taking wings from, no different than what happened with lobster, from poorer areas, from demographics in the South that learned to use the wings to create good sauces for the wings, to create breadings for the wings, all sorts of things. They enhanced it up in Buffalo. It isn't still the way the buffalo wings grew, even though we associate with buffalo wings. Buffalo Wild Wings created the chicken wing phenomenon, and they were created out of Ohio. So I just want everyone to think about this. The creator of something isn't always the one who builds the industry of it. So fortunately in Buffalo, the original person that did create chicken wings, during the time there was segregation going on in the city, and he had to close his business after 2 years. So then another restaurant picked up the chicken wings, an Italian restaurant, totally by accident in Buffalo, because they were shipped chicken wings instead, and theirs was unbreaded. And so you have these things, and then Buffalo Wild Wings just took something from a restaurant or whatever. And guess what? It wasn't it wasn't the chicken wing guys that made them famous. It was the TVs they put in their bars, because no one else put multiple TVs in a bar at that time to watch sports. So the chicken wings fame was hard. It's hard. It's discarded. It doesn't have a lot of value per pound based on the bone. It's easier just to boil the stuff off. However, I will say that what it's become is a very important part of our food system. And this is how crazy it is. We used to go from, in the 80s, having an abundance, maybe even the 90s, abundance of chicken wings. Like, you couldn't deal with them. We were selling more chickens than wings. And now it's the opposite problem. Now it's harder to get the wings than it is the rest of the chicken, because it is a demand and it is something. And why? I'm just going to emphasize this. There's a lot of nutrition in the meat and minerals and stuff. It is a smaller piece of the animal, so you have to work harder on it. It means that there's a lot more flavor that's able to be added to it. Okay. It's a beautiful thing. So let's talk about overall your concept, Tanya. Let's talk about your menu first, because I think I just anchored it pretty well with the conversation on chicken wings. And then go from there. And it is an American thing, guys. Do they eat the chicken wings in other parts of the world? Yes. But did the phenomena become phenomenal until recently? No. It was Americans. It was out of grassroots. It was out of, mistakes that we've made culturally in society, for sure. But sometimes we can turn bad into good. And the chicken wing, to me, is one of those. It blows my mind that we would slaughter thousands of chickens and then just throw away the wings. We couldn't even feed them to the other animals, because they were so abundant. So it's just something to think about, guys, as we talk about whole animal utilization in some of the conversations or amongst our groups. So let's talk about your menu.
Absolutely. I like to consider the chicken wing as a protein.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? It's definitely a protein, and good history on presenting the chicken wing and its roots of it, because absolutely, right? I noted and mentioned that me being from Texas here and in the southern part of, Texas here, that was traditionally, prepared for us. And again, that's where the concept really came from. And actually, the concept came from, having friends come from the East Coast to the South to visit for the first time, and then having been introduced to a different style of the actual chicken wing, because it is breaded, right? So it's not a naked chicken wing, and then it's breaded. So the menu itself is focused on flavors, right? So that's the experience. You're right. So there's a couple of different things that's for chicken wing. You got to be able to easily eat it, because you said there's not a lot of protein on that bone, and it's structured in a way that if you have to struggle with that chicken wing to eat it, then it's probably not prepared properly, right? So when I say that, that's marinating it, right? And making sure that time is spent initially starting with cleaning it, making sure it's at its highest level, selecting the highest quality of chicken, making sure it's clean and prepared properly, making sure that cost per pound is passed on to the customer, and that you're not overcharging for such an item, right? But you do have to highlight what makes you different, and what makes ChixnWangz different is the flavors, right? And our prep process. Not to mention that we cook with love, right? So we serve with love. So those are key things that always comes across, right? So that menu is reflective of that. Different tastes, different options to choose from. We have the popular flavors, like everyone that enjoys garlic parmesan, lemon pepper, but we have some flavors that really taste your taste buds, right? And get you going. That's my feedback from a lot of the customers that come back. Oh wow, those were really good. Oh wow, those are really good, right? Because we try to exceed what has become the norm for chicken wing. It's usually served as an appetizer. It's always on a menu as a side item. It's never really highlighted, right? Chicken wing serves nothing but chicken wings. We serve chicken tenders that support that in that version of our boneless, right? So chicken wings, chicken tenders, waffles, because it really makes a great combination to have chicken and waffles. Our waffles, we have different flavors that we introduce and we serve, because we like variety, right? We do a version of loaded fries that only have two different types of loaded fries, which is a garlic parmesan loaded fry and a ratchet ranch. If you know the names of the menu, you'll be kind of amused by just their names of those flavors, right? Because they are intentional. And then there's the desserts. We have ears of bacon in our repertoire as well. So the part owner for myself is also a baker. And so we incorporate those items into it. So chicken wings have a very straightforward, simple menu, but a great menu for flavors. And you have your options for waffles or fries. And yeah, those are flavors.
One of the things I think about having a food truck in the South, and we'll get into this later, but I just want to earmark this, is the weather year round. You can run the food trucks year round down in Texas or in southern states, where you don't have that in northern states as much. Even in Colorado, January, December are rough months. Nashville, December, January, rough months, even February. So I think that there's a huge advantage to doing food truck businesses in southern states for sure. But before we dive into that, let's talk about, you mentioned being in healthcare. You were in food in Austin. I want to anchor this for the audience. One of the things that I think that's important here is Austin played such a catalyst role in the development of culinary growth for a long period of time in the 2000s, probably around when you were there. It was growing into, at the time, what would be the equivalent of Nashville now. And if anyone's been to Nashville now and sees the food scene there, I get it, the entertainment scene, more honky tonks being built, I understand. But the real thing that's happening there, that's supporting all of it, is there's this amazing, amazing food revolution happening there. No different than Austin, but Nashville's just on a grander scale right now. So I think that that's important. But let's talk about healthcare. How do you come up with a menu? How do you come up with an idea? How do you get the first food truck off the ground? How do you find a business partner? How do you even get from like, oh, this is something that I really love doing and I'm interested in, to being like, all right, I'm going to try to do this as a business?
Just being a true entrepreneur, right? Free spirited, and taking advantage of what I heard you say earlier, which is we're in an age of information, right? So technology, and I utilize all my resources that I can. And then it's first just starting with a vision, right? What should it look like? And it takes time to build on that. And so yeah, just progressing through logos, visions, right? I'm intentional on those things, right? If I see a vision of something or have a thought that occurs, if I jot it down, then I'll revisit that. And then it's the age of information that we live in that allows you to elaborate and build. So ChixnWangz started actually as a concept, just the thought of just this happy chicken, right? And then I thought, oh wow, wait, it's two of us, right? So my partner who's been my longtime partner, who is my ride forever, is that's my mother, right? And her name's Diane Russell Moore. She is also co-partner, and she's the ultimate chicken wing fryer. I do also have a different partner too that I'll mention here down the road. But yes, so the menu of the two chicken wings came one. It was just one chick, and I thought, oh wait, it's two chicks. Oh, wait. When you say chicken wings, oh, chicken wings, that's boring. We typically want to say, oh, I want some chicken wings, right? Oh, I want wings. Oh, give me some chicken wings, right? So it just really stuck out. And I just kind of push it around to family and friends. And I like, oh, that's different. So as developing the menu, I thought I pulled from my previous wing ventures that I had, and that venture had sauces from all around the world. I was like, well, I don't want to be that vast and I don't want to offer that many different choices. I want to just hone in and be great at these selective flavors, right? So we began to select the flavors, some that I've used in my past business venture, but the new ones are ones that just came accustomed to researching and what the customer may want. But again, adding that twist. ChixnWangz is solely about chicken wings, right? And having that flavorful experience. So that comes with the entire concept. Adding the waffles was something I introduced in my previous endeavors. And we wasn't ready for that in Texas yet, right? So I sat back and watched everybody after I went back into healthcare. I watched everybody deliver on chicken and waffles, and I was seething to say, oh, I'm going to do that again, right? So I waited my turn. I brought all of my corporate experience in, and I utilized it as far as marketing, as far as customer engagement, as the social media, as far as the content that's created and how we want ChixnWangz to be presented. It's always our services with a smile. And we offer the highest quality of our food because we serve our customers the way we would want to be served, right? So I think that makes us different. As a food trailer business, we're able to be mobile and we're able to select the audience that we want to serve for the most part. We take care of the farmers markets. Does it generate a lot of revenue? Not necessarily, but it does serve the community and give them that experience of having a quality experience, dining experience, right? And with a really, really fair, reasonable price. So we're growing. And it's really good to hear the feedback that we hear that we're doing a fantastic job.
Yeah, I think one of the things that's so important here is while you in the industry as a whole, there's a lot of probably companies that do chicken and waffles, as you said, even chicken wings.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we talked about Buffalo Wild Wings, and there's obviously Wingstop. Wingstop is like a quick service, guys, or even a fast food. And Buffalo Wild Wings is more of a bar than people go there for the wings, obviously. But there's a lot, they've built the ability for multiple channels, different type of things for wings, as everyone knows. That's all the way from fine dining, guys, all the way down to food trucks. There's a lot of room here, and there's a lot of room for big companies to come in and grow, or small companies to grow into big companies, is what I'm saying. Actually, that came out wrong. And so there's a lot of rooms in here There's a lot of room in here for other companies in the chicken wing business, and it's an untapped resource. I honestly think we've seen some of it with the Korean fried chicken places. Now Korean fried chicken's a big deal. It's an alternative to chicken. There's lots of room here to grow, guys. And yes, fried chicken and wings, have they been around since the 1960s as businesses and growing businesses? Sure. Now do pizza companies offer wings with their pizza? Yeah, it makes sense. Football got attached to wings because of Buffalo Wild Wings. And then naturally pizza companies picked up on this. They wanted more pizza for football. So now they're advertising wings. So now wings, pizza, and whatever beverage of your choices have really become solidified. So there's a lot there. There's a lot of room here. But on the wing thing, there's so much expertise. There's so many different concepts. There's so many different ways to do it. By the time this podcast comes out, we've also talked about Ethiopian fried chicken. Yes, guys, I like fried chicken. I like chicken business in general. And so there is that. One of the things I like about chicken is, in general, the whole animal is utilized. It's a lot easier because of its size to utilize the whole animal. I'm not saying all animals shouldn't be eaten and we shouldn't rotate our proteins, but I just like chicken for that reason. Let's talk about permits, designing, building, all the crazy stuff that goes on with starting a food truck, finding the truck, making sure everything works, dealing with engines, all that stuff. Let's talk about that.
It was an amazing ride for me with that. It's like, this is exactly what we were supposed to do. I looked really hard and considered going back into brick and mortar, introducing chicken wings that way. And the food truck just kept resonating with me. So I looked at the statistics on it, and see if it was feasible for us to manage it in such a way that we would reach those goals and potentials that we set for ourselves. The food truck, joined Facebook with different food truck training groups and different support groups, and just began to read through some of the things and to experience, to have an idea of what to experience. I reached out to a food truck. My very first couple of vendors I reached out to, I started negotiations, but I just wasn't comfortable. So I halted until I came across one that, when I went to visit, that was close by here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. It was really a very great visit. I was able to then select the trailer that I pull, and it's a trailer. And then they worked with me to design it. And I was like, oh, wait, so let me just be clear. I'm going to design this. You're going to build it out. I'm going to pick it up from you, and I'm going to be able to pass all states, city permits, county permits, and state permits. He says, absolutely. No way. So totally way. Exactly that. A beautiful trailer. It was already design work with their graphic designer to wrap it. Everything spick and span, brand new on the inside, beautifully designed for our preparation of chicken wings, chicken tenders, and the way that we prepare our food and how we store our food. Just a beautiful trailer overall, and is well received. So that's how that came about. And within 6 months of introducing the concept as a trailer, meeting with this particular vendor, we were serving at our first event.
Okay, let's talk about that. How did that go? Talking about lessons learned, growth, the first couple of... Yeah. Let's talk about all the lessons learned at the beginning.
It was a lunch and learn.
Yeah.
I had my corporate hat on, and the people that work with me was like, "Oh no, sister, no, you're not. That's about to dictate and be A-type stereo here, right? You're gonna relax, and we're gonna just flow with it." So I was yelling things out like, well, how long would you want to wait? And the irony of that is I'm thinking I'm, advocating for my customer, but I'm actually aggravating my customer because why are you addressing your staff that way? So it was very interesting nonetheless, but we had to work through those things because, working on a trailer is in a small space. So coordination is key. We have items, timing. So it was interesting. I think my first day, honestly, I think I did roughly about $50. So definitely rags to sum up, not even rich. Yeah, but definitely we started at the very bottom of the concept. And it was like, yay, we did it. Yeah, we did it. We had a sale or two. So I have a very interesting setup with my trailer here. I use a POS system that allows the customer to engage themselves with that. So they get to order off the POS screen, sends them a text them when the order is ready. They love it. They absolutely love it. So when I'm there at the window, I'm like, hey, do you need any help? Oh, no, I got it. And if they don't, they will politely say, "Hey, can you assist?" But they absolutely love working on that POS system as far as selecting their menu items. They get to take their time. We also have online ordering, so they can do a QR code snapshot and then go back to their seats or wherever they are to order. So it's all about convenience for our customers. And it texts them when it's ready, and we serve hot. We cook to order.
Talk to me about choosing a trailer versus a truck. What was the thought process there?
Mobility. Having the ideal is to multiply, and a trailer is just for the mobility of being able to hitch that puppy and move around, and and for the
Yeah,
mechanical, right?
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, the mechanical issues. I just feel nothing against the trucks because I've been eyeing one that I'm thinking maybe I can add, but I hear it, and I did my research. There was a lot of different mechanical issues that you may face, and I'm thinking, it's just easy to hitch this puppy up to my truck and let's just move out. So,
Yeah, I agree. I think that for the audience, I'm not 100% positive of this, and I heard it through someone else, so grain of salt for everyone, but it's something along the lines where food trucks just came along because the trucks were cheap because the United States Post Office or UPS, FedEx and stuff dumped those type of trucks. But I agree, the cost to your business is huge. I would never deal with anything other than trailers, both having built restaurants and run food trailers. It's the only way to go. The mobility is the key, and you need to be able to sometimes run the truck or run multiple trailers. Excuse me, guys. But the most important thing is if my trailer really starts doing well, I may just need refrigeration and a freezer. That means the truck gets me there to the event, right? Then the truck unhitches. It can just go get another trailer and bring the other support trailer there if I need it. I ran into this, especially in fried chicken, guys, where you get such lump sums, especially in festivals or NASCAR stuff where it's all day long. You're going to run out of food and freezer food. So when you're building and scaling, I never really said this to anyone. I love food trucks, but what they don't allow is the incremental scalability that trailers do. And I just talked about one of them. That means double hitch, and what do I mean by double hitch? It means my truck got there. It's close enough where I don't mind running back, getting another unit that I may have to rent. I may just rent something on wheels for refrigeration or freezer. And it's okay, guys, but that's how you scale food truck businesses properly. Is there the way, if you have a commissary, to do multiple trailers better? Yes, but I still recommend what we're talking about here. They are available out there. You can even buy them or build them yourself or have someone get an empty trailer shell and put a bunch of refrigerators and freezer in there. It's up to you, however you want to do it. But it is an interesting, essential piece to help explode your food trailers to do more business. Could you do it with a food truck and support a truck and tow a trailer? Sure. I agree with that. It's just a lot easier vehicle wise, guys, engine wise, truck wise, to just move trailers around, set space for it, have them close together if you have what I would call an auxiliary trailer, which I just discussed for refrigeration freezers, because that was the hardest lesson. I couldn't deal with selling out. I know people glorify it and it's a great feeling. For me, it's an awful feeling. I'm leaving money on the table. Like, I just can't deal with it. And so it became that as building, what's the auxiliary? So that's That's my advice for that. And that's why I asked the question. I brought up the engine earlier because I knew the trailer, but I wanted to anchor it because I can tell you're very intentional. There's a lot of thought, strategy, logistical thinking in there. Sometimes probably overthinking, as we were talking about. So, yeah.
That's a great tip, though. Actually, that was an awesome tip. As far as the extra space for refrigeration that is on wheels, like incredible tip. So thank you. That's awesome.
Absolutely. Let's talk about what it's been like. You have your staff now. We talked about what the initial part of it was, but now you've gotten in the flow of things. The social media is starting to pick up. People are liking your product. You know this is a tangible business, that it's not just a dream now. Like, people are going to support this. It's going to start to be sustainable. Let's talk about what that looks like, this journey that you're on right now.
Oh, absolutely. So I typically keep myself in the frame of mind that this is a corporation, right? I am a corporate baby, bottom line. And this is a corporation as is formed in an LLC. So it's a business. And as a business, I see it with options to back into a brick and mortar location, along with being able to keep the model of franchising trailer options, right? So someone who wants to get into a, a business such that finds it profitable, that would like to work with me as far as how I did this at a reasonable rate and how we can get going and turn your business into a profitable business. I can work with them on that capacity. We can operate under ChixnWangz, right? But I also have the ideology of replacing some of our key restaurants that we've lost over time, and such as Boston Market, if I may say, they've kind of just faded to out of anywhere, but we still need that. We still need that. We still need the wholesome of, not, chicken wings as chicken, but as a protein. We still need to be able to serve our community good quality food. So we're looking into backing into brick and mortars and expanding out from a business standpoint, but we're also looking to keep boots on the grounds with the mobile trailers because there's, like you said, there's opportunities at concerts, there's opportunities at events and festivals that we're outside, and given that opportunity and taking that advantage, you find different foods at festivals, tacos, barbecue. But it's rare that you find a dedicated chicken wing truck. You may find a dedicated ice cream truck. You may find a dedicated coffee truck. But you very seldom find a dedicated chicken wings that does not serve hamburgers, that does not serve tacos or the Philly steak sandwiches on the side. We are dedicated to chicken wings and chicken tenders. So we're excellent at what we do, and that's what we're going to continue to build on. That's our focal point. We're just chicken wings.
Talk to me about the different waffles, different sauces. Talk to me a little bit more about that, because you mentioned the waffles. I want to focus on that a little bit, but I also want to talk about the sauces that go with the wings and the waffles.
Absolutely. So it makes a great combination, right? So I have a waffle sandwich that I make. We take the mini waffles and we have them in different flavors. You could get a chocolate waffle, a strawberry waffle, a red velvet waffle, a plain vanilla waffle, right? Which is really our highest seller. People are afraid a lot of times to try the different waffles unless we, kind of talk them into it. And hey, it's really good, right? Because we are serving different flavors. Our flavors for our chicken wings, it really hits the palate, right? So I have a Texas chick sauce, which is my rendition of the Nashville hot. I can't call it Nashville hot in Texas. So it's called Texas chick, and it's amazing. We have what we call our play on a Jamaican jerk. It's called Rambo's jerk, right? Because we're strong in that flavor. We have Ratchet Ranch, and it's just that because it's got to be ratchet to have that many different flavors combined and have such an awesome outcome, right? So those are some of the top flavors that we serve. Of course, we have our garlic parmesan, but typically I'll be like, girl, let me get some of those garlic parmesans, right? So that's the title of them, is girl garlic parmesan. And we have licking lemon pepper because when you're done, that's what you'll be doing, licking your fingers instead of using a towelette. So those are our flavors, which comes into great with the waffles, right? Because you got these different flavor waffles. It's an experience, right? And then you take that chicken tender and you take those same flavors and you immerse those tenders into, and they're hand battered, fresh tenders. All of our chicken is fresh, very fresh, and we cook it to order. Is that a little bit of time for our customers? Yeah, but I'd rather see a smile, right? So we give them heads up front. It's going to take a little time. And then as far as overall taking the waffle and the chicken tender and wrapping it together and dipping it in a lot of sauces that would give you on the side. Fantastic. So yeah, that's the experience of the waffles. And people they love the waffle sandwich. Love it.
Is that the star of your show?
I'm sorry?
Is that the star of your show, the waffle sandwich? Is it the number one seller?
My number, yeah, for the most part, because it's a combination, right? And it's tenders. Yeah. So yes, I get a lot of waffle sandwiches because, everyone wants to try chicken and waffles, right? We said it is a popular concept, and they'll never go into a 5-star restaurant for the most part. And I'll say never, I shouldn't say that. But if I'm in a 5-star dining, I'm not going to order chicken and waffles, right? But hey, this cute little food truck up the way, hey, they serve chicken and waffles. All right, that's pretty good. So we're giving those people that experience.
Yeah, and this trend is coming. It's already been worldwide. That's why there's so many street vendors across the world where food is mobile. We often take it and walk. In other places in the world, more older places, I would say, and in terms of infrastructure, so one of the things I like about what you guys are doing is it's portable food. It's on the go. It's easy to take. It's the way it should be coming out of a truck. I think often people complicate things too much and don't realize that at the end of the day, no matter how luxurious it is, it still needs to be portable. That's it. Absolutely. It's a thing that's missed, and it could be a fatal mistake, guys, depending on your location. It does depend on your location, whether you're permanent or where you are. If you're on a golf course, obviously you want to be more portable, but there's a lot of things that go into this. Let's talk about where do you want this to go?
I am looking to expand and to allow others to have the same experience in trying our product, right? And being there with our service. And again, because we aim to serve others as we want to be served, right? So it's with a smile, good quality food, fair prices, and we want to continue to grow. Are there challenges? Absolutely. It's a lot of fun. To take it from a concept to an operating food trailer, I often remind those that are around me, hey, just hopping on the trailer and being able to offer this amazing product is only half the journey, right? We have to we have to strategically place ourselves where we can, generate a profit. There's a small line there. You don't want to pass those costs on to your customers because don't have much skin in the game, and you want to continue to grow where you are. So it's been very challenging, to say the least, but I will just continue to hammer at it and show up, and the people will come. Right. I've had my best days at events where people ordered in masses, and I'm like, dude, is there not a chicken wing stop or something close by? Because they are ordering like crazy because they're looking for that. Again, I say many times, chicken wings are a side product and they're not treated properly, right? They're not really given the attention as to what they really are. They are a protein, and you can enjoy them. And you pay these same type prices on a food trailer who may offer burgers. And I'm not knocking that, but you're not able to give the same type of quality if you don't put the focus there. So we're just hoping to continue to grow that trend and move this out of Texas and to different markets and different areas.
Yeah, one of the things I think about the chicken wing is it's similar to me to, like, you have the blue crab out of the Chesapeake Bay. It's very small. You have to eat like 12 of them. And like most of the time you get tired of breaking them up before you get full. But the meat's so good because it's so small. And a Dungeness crab, I love. It's one crab. It can fill me. You can do a lot of things with the garlic, but it's still not the same flavor profile that's concentrated in the smaller crab. I think of the chicken wing a lot like that. There's a lot of flavor concentrated in there. That's how I look at it, honestly, from a culinary standpoint, guys. I don't know why, but it's just a concentrated muscle group. So go
I
ahead.
have this thing about if you have to struggle with your chicken wing, you're having a problem with it, right? So you should be able to, you should be able to, and I teach people how to properly eat a chicken wing. And it's like, no way. I was like, way, right? You take it from the top, you pop it from here, you pop it from here, and then, yeah, there you have it. The entire chicken wing is devoured in less than 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay, a minute. A minute.
Talk to me about mentors, coaching, growth, seeking information, whether podcasts, I don't know, but talk to me about growing yourself or individuals that have had impact on your growth to get you to where you are right now.
Well, currently I'm working with our local SCORE, and I'm forever grateful for them because they've been able to provide strong feedback and strong, data and strong tips that has helped ChixnWanz continuously in our growth as far as our social media, how we should be operating. Right. I have one particular, well, actually 3 or 4 different mentors who are phenomenal at being consistent and people who are driven with tenacity, right? And so they're always whispering in my ear, hey, Tanya, don't quit. You're onto something really big here, right? So don't quit because if you're onto something really big, we can't fund a good chicken wing. I've had family to come out of Virginia just to come and visit and dine with me, just to say, hey, yep, those are the chicken wings I remember. So yeah, we're excited about that. So yeah, I'm excited about where ChixnWanz is headed. And my mentors are absolutely great at keeping me encouraged and keeping us on the road. I have 2 that I cannot fail to mention that I work with, which is, I mentioned her beforehand, which is my mother. She's my partner in crime, I like to say, because I say, Mom, hey, we are killing this chicken out here, right? We're doing this, right? So she and I worked before on having our wing concept, and this has been just a better version of what we've done overall. And then I have Ramsey Rangel. He is we're the chicks, and I tell him he's Mr. Wangs, right? Because he's definitely our all in all in keeping our trailer run and clean to perfection and keeping our food cooked up in timely manners. We work as a team. It's just us and we operate like that, right? We're very cohesive and focused, right? So we're growing. We're climbing and growing. We're coming.
Talk about a little bit about managing all the relationships because you have business partnerships. So you're also managing those expectations, creativity, coming up with new menu items. Talk to me about how all of it comes together, the respective roles you play, how those roles sort of went into place. 'Cause I think a lot of people struggle with finding what I do well, what they do well, what we don't do well, and then how to figure out the gaps if both of us don't do it well. Talk to me a little bit about that.
Absolutely. I always refer, so I'm pretty much the main brains and the main voice to it. So to Chicken Wings and they're not yes people at all. So that it's not without conflict. It's not without challenges. It's not without, as owners and partners, we all have, or one who has invested interest. We all have a desire to make it work, right? And sometimes our temperaments is not always at that shows that, right? We're territorial. If you find your place that works well with you, we typically don't want to cross over into other areas. So outside of all the administrative, that's me for the most part. As far as, creativity and expanding, we meet, we talk about it, we make changes accordingly. We're developing a sauce line now to add to our repertoires, as well as merchandise. But yeah, we're territorial. We don't want everyone. If you're doing customer service, hey, I'm doing customer service today. If you're doing the saucing, I'm pretty much the saucer. I'm pretty much territorial. And so, yeah, and then we have our fry cook who keeps all the tenders and everything going. So keeps the everything at a higher quality. So when the trailer clean is often commented from our patrons when they look inside how clean this trailer is from the inside out. That's because we know you can see us and we want to be transparent. We are clean. We are keeping things nice, neatly and ordered because we are serving you the way we want to be served, right? And we're serving you something that we enjoy as well. So
Yeah, one of the things I'm going to say to the audience, business partnerships, I've learned this definitely the hard way. This advice was not given to me, unfortunately. I don't think that all business relationships are long term. I think we have to be careful. I think it's like choosing a spouse. It is a very long term thing, and it will have a lot of impact on success. So I'm going to just talk about this a little bit because you touched upon it, and I think it's important. At the beginning of any business and partnership, guys, and from building lots of businesses, having investors, lots of partners in different ventures, even though it was consolidated under one holding company as me and my family, there were ventures that broke off that had different partners, or we give equity to a general manager in a facility or something like that. So directly involved in that impact. But I think the fluidity is important, and I'm going to explain it more from a universal level than a business level at first, and then we'll narrow down. So from a universal level, if we come together in a partnership and we're stuck, and I know a lot of people want to jump to this because it's part of the agreement, possibly an operating agreement in your business or LLC or whatever, if you're forming a corporation, responsibilities are assigned. And yes, in general, I think it's important to hold each other accountable and whatever, but you also need to give room and space to allow God to shuffle the deck properly. And sometimes that takes 2 years, sometimes it takes 3 years, sometimes it takes 7 years, as if you have multiple partners, because the business evolves a lot, particularly in food. Over 7 years, you pivot, change. Sometimes there's economic situations that cause change. There's a lot of things. So one of the things is remain patient, remain obedient and disciplined in your mission on a greater level. And that your business partners are individuals that you want relationships with forever. And in doing that and having them understand the same philosophy, it's allowing our imperfections to float out naturally as well as our superpowers. And when we start to focus on what each other does well, and if we allow it to float out in humility, because we're like, okay, I'm realizing I'm not as good as I thought I was at this. We allow to work together when all of a sudden you have 3 or 4 or 5 partners and no one's good at marketing or social media. And you're like, uh-oh, not one of us knows what we're doing here. Well, it's a hole in our system and our strategy, right? Because these are all strategies. There's multiple layers of a business or multiple doors, however you want to look at it, multiple fronts, multiple armies. I don't know what your analogy is in your head, but along those lines, social media is one of them. So when you have deficits, you have to come together as a group and figure it out. But first, you need to allow humility to take place and the balancing of everything. I think everyone wants to feel needed too. So there's both those who want to feel needed, so they need the responsibilities, and those that need structure so badly it needs to be done now, and I need to know what I'm doing or what you're doing. And I get that too, and I think there's a way to do it that does both successfully, but just allow the room there, guys, because if not, we tend to get too stuck in what we're serving. We don't allow a star of our show to develop, meaning the food. We also don't allow if we don't model it as business partners, it'll never be modeled in our business. Our employees won't be teammates either. Just saying.
and that is such words of wisdom there. Absolutely, because it does take a lot of humility to have everyone be able to contribute. It's, I always say that if you have a board and you brainstorm and you take all your brainstorming and you throw it up against that board and all of it may not stick, but those are the ways you generate your ideas, and everyone's idea is important, although we weigh it and then we ultimately decide. But that's important to keep humility because we are coming from different backgrounds, and those absolutely need structure, and those may be a little bit timid and not so sure about what we're doing. So partnerships is definitely a delicate area, and you definitely need to choose partners that understand that there is a timeline, that you're in it for the long haul. This is not a get rich quick. This is really about service community, growing, and setting yourself up for being able to be a viable resource in the future days to come. A mobile food trailer, and likewise of those who do serve that, we can serve in different capacities. We're generators. We run by generators, right? We run by, filling up water plays, just different things that adds so much to us, that we could pull up and serve, right? So I hope in the near future that our states and representatives will see the viableness of these food trailers, these mobile food units, and begin to lighten up on the fees and the permits and the cost that is associated with it. That's a little bit mind-boggling because, if you want to be the consumers first and you want to, be safe, but how do you keep those that fly under the radar, and then you you know, tax, or when I say tax, I definitely mean the permitting, for different counties, you may have to permit. Some of the fees are astronomical to be able to come in and serve their community. So I would ask those to consider that. We're coming to serve your community and we're offering a different concept. Let's have a fair price. But I'm working now. I've seen that there's some options here in the state of Texas that hopefully we'll be able to get a one-state permit and be able to move freely about without so many restrictions. Because those are the things that really hinder. You have partnerships, restrictions, making everyone understand the roadmap, because everyone is not prepared in their head to deal with the red tapes and the things of dealing with how to put that food trailer into a place to park, or how to generate that customer to the window, right? So those are all the things that I particularly take care of for ChixnWanz.
Anything that you want to talk about that we didn't talk about, Tanya?
Well, I think that's it. I appreciate you giving light to us. We are up and coming, but we are in it for the long haul. And yeah, so if you come and visit with us, know we cook to order with a smile. So kind of just be patient with us. We're here to serve you a great product. That's it.
Yeah.
And
go ahead.
with love. With love.
Yes. Share with us where I can find you online. The audience can find you online on social media.
Absolutely. You can find us on Instagram at ChixnWangz. The Z is very important because it's ChixnWangz. Okay. And then you can find us. So that's Instagram. You can find us on TikTok, social media, Facebook. Also, you can find us at the ChixnWangz.com website, and where we have online ordering. We also have merchandise there that you can purchase. And again, I want to also pitch that we are working on a sauce line. So be looking forward to Texas Hot and Texas Heat.
I love it. This is going to be my last question for you as we wrap up, and I'm going to use this to tie up our conversation. Talk to me and take as long as you want. There's no rush to answer. Motivation, inspiration. How do you keep moving forward? What is the purpose truly for the dreams? Like, where are you going with this? Talk to me about that. What's the fire inside that's burning this?
Absolutely, there's a fire inside. I think entrepreneurship is so tied to a spiritual journey. It's incredible, right? My inspiration and my internal is my faith in God. So I thank you for mentioning that, because definitely that is my faith, and that is my driven faith, right? It takes a mustard seed. And so if one person can do it, I visualize that I can also do it. So by prayer, supplication, and thanksgiving, I ask of those things in prayer. And then I believe. And when you ask and you believe, then when you see a vision or something that captures your eye, maybe it's another food trailer, you're thinking food trailers, you want to look and see, well, those are their inspirations, colors, restaurant colors, things that what's going to make me different, but yet likely, right? So praying and what I see, I write down, I maintain that, revisit that, elaborate on that. That has been the journey. And those motivations and those discernments I believe, are spiritually divine. Being able to, again, have a vision of something and then have a manifestation of it is amazing. It's an amazing journey. And I say it again, it's not without, humility. It's not without being fearful. It's not without doing it with fear. You just do it. You do it afraid, right? So faith is huge. Inspiration is around me. It's the people that take the chances, right? Who make the choices? Who jumps in the water without the raft? The life jacket, right? So we take those chances. That's those. It's the entrepreneurs. It's those that I surround myself with that are entrepreneurs. And then the fact of, you can do it. If you can see it, you can believe it, you can achieve it. And I do. I give all my faith and all my glory to God through Jesus Christ.
Me as well, for
Yes.
sure.
Yes.
It's actually crazy. I'm going to say this to the audience. I'm hoping to get this gentleman on the show. But I had a conversation or heard a conversation from and Warriors for Christ, a group I'm a part of. It's online. Started when I was in Pennsylvania. But anyway, the guy, he does music all over the world, Christian music, and it's been like grassroots struggling. He has to come back, raise money, and they used music to spread the gospel, Christian music, okay, all over the world.
Yes.
And they've ended up in Pakistan in some ways and in helping free Christian slaves, okay? Because it does go on there, because it is the Islamic Republic of Pakistan. Christians are indentured servants for legacy, meaning forever. Their family members are born into it. I just want everyone to understand that still goes on. And I want to emphasize this for everyone also. Him starting to play music and spreading the gospel didn't get purpose until he really started going into places that were uncomfortable for them as Christians and spreading the gospel there. And even though he's going through all of this, I would say in Pakistan, one of the things he said is that he's never seen men and women more faithful in their faith of Christianity because of the persecution and the slavery. So it's an interesting thing, guys, and they are freeing people. And one of the things he talked about is they freed a family not too long ago, and the first baby's been born out of slavery. So listen, there's a lot of things we do wrong as humans, guys, and a lot of things we've done wrong in the United States. I sometimes wonder whether the mistakes we make are we've made them from a Christian standpoint as a godly nation. Not that it's deserved, not like I'm making excuses, so please don't take this the wrong way, but we need to go help others that are dealing with it right now.
Yes. Yes.
So that is just where I'm going to leave it. It's not taking away from what's happened. It's what I think is equipping us for more, unfortunately. And sometimes that's what happens in life. We need to do better for sure as a nation. And what better way to do it than help others get out of it, since we made the same mistake and we know how bad it is and how it can echo through decades. So I think like we can come up as a society, as humans, as entrepreneurs, and think about things like that. And what are our businesses spreading as they do grow around the world, or they do grow in the United States, or our voices do grow? So I'm not saying to, cut off your nose in spite of your face, or however the saying goes. I can never get them right. But I think that's an important thing, guys. If I would talk about anything in leadership and entrepreneurship and in business, there's way more that's been gifted to us in the privilege and entitlement we have in the United States and the country we've built around God and godly values and morals and ethics. And there are a lot of places that don't have that. And guess what? We don't need to go fight wars, guys. We can just spread it in the way of love through our businesses as entrepreneur, the people we influence, the vendors, the farmers, the employees, the customers. Every time we send something out, what is it that we're putting out? Are we being competitive to be negative? Or are we glorifying us and everything else? So I just wonder, sometimes, guys, we can do things as entrepreneurs, or we can think we're in this competitive environment or whatever, but the truth is we're all in this together. And if we look at it properly, we just talked about wings. There's plenty of room for us to grow. And the population will continue to grow. And there's lots of places that don't have chicken wings, period, as their business, at least American styles that we have here. I'll call them American styles, plural.
Yes.
So, food is representative of cultural differences in a lot of way, but it's also the connection for us to explore each other's cultures and ideas. And maybe we don't agree or disagree or whatever, but hopefully universally, we understand that we ultimately borders, boundaries, all these things we falsify and put in, they're human constructs. God didn't draw them into place.
Yes.
We are all one nation, guys, on this planet as one, whatever population that's been given free will. And you can, whether it's experiment or whatever, our duty is to use that free will to glorify God and love each other.
Yeah.
And that's it, guys. The whole purpose, no matter which way we shake it, why we reproduce, why we move on, is to continue to have us as humans continue on in life, no different than any animal does. But more importantly, we are called to compound our legacies, including all of humanity, not just our own families, to be better than we are. And so in Jesus Christ, what happened is there was an old way, eye for an eye way of thinking, slavery, bad things happening, people glorifying themselves and doing things in the name of gods that were just barbaric and evil. And what we saw there was a light, just a small light that started to bring freedom.
Yes.
And the understanding that our free will is also a gift, that we can choose it to better our situations and stop things like we just discussed in Pakistan. It's important.
Yes. It's very, very.
And we have a voice, guys, as entrepreneurs, and people listen to us and we have fans. I'm not saying to go on political battles. That's not what I'm saying, or stir those type of little things. Those are idiosyncrasy until what we're talking about. They're very small in terms of just breeding core values into your business and to your community and stuff through who we are. What does that mean? I hate to say, guys, but it means we got to work on ourselves. And the better we become at it and the better we model it, the more people will emulate it. So.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
My last question, I know I already said it. What's your favorite part? What's your favorite part of this right now? What do you enjoy the most? Yep. In this moment.
Having this conversation with you has been so enlightening. I've really enjoyed this. It's so warm. It's very relaxing, right? This has been amazing. So being able to talk about ChixnWanz, but also being able to highlight Jesus Christ, that's amazing. So I love that.
Yeah, absolutely. One more time, can they find you online? Where can they find your location if they're in the Fort Worth, Texas, Dallas area? Obviously, I want them to hunt you down. So how can they find you?
They can hunt me down. Absolutely. Follow me on my website. I will post ahead of time when I'm in different locations that we're going to be at. I typically post a week ahead. Also post crazy locations on Facebook. So if you're following me on Facebook, you'll always know our locations. But just for the record here, I'm going to go ahead and put City Market on. City Market 7206 in Richland Hills, Texas is where I'm typically can be found on Latham Drive. So 7206 Latham Drive in Richland Hills. They do a Mid-Cities City Market, Farmers Market every first of the month on Saturdays. They offer different food trailers, but I am there as they will have been along with me in the journey of ChixnWanz. So you can definitely find me over there, 7206 Latham, but you can also find me if you follow us on the Facebook and or Instagram or my website, www or https, however you want to put it, ChixnWanz.com. So there you have it.
Absolutely. I look forward to continuing to tell your story, Tanya, and ChixnWangz. I love the name. I think it's so creative, particularly where we are right now and the need for creativity and joy from such a dark period we went through a few years ago. So it's definitely comforting for me too, in this moment, having this conversation and getting to talk about Jesus Christ, even briefly with you as well. Thank you guys in the audience. If you like what you hear, obviously go like, share the profiles, the social media of the entrepreneurs that are on here. They're helping grow communities, and these are going around the world, guys. We are syndicated around the world. We are being listened to in Pakistan. Okay, we are being listened to in Palestine. We are being listened to in Egypt. Okay. We have a way that our voice can carry and go through barriers. What does that mean? Well, our businesses can glorify more than just our communities now, right? So think about what we're doing. Think about our voice. Think about that our voice is etched in stone basically now. Excuse me.
That's
So,
amazing. Thank you, Justin, for having me.
yeah, absolutely.
That's the platform to discuss chicken wings.
Yeah, absolutely. Everyone in the audience, I love you guys. We're out.